In crochet, there are two basic ways of holding the hook. There's what's called the knife hold, which is what I prefer, and it looks like this. And there's what's called the pencil hold, which looks like this. You can play around with the two different ways and see what feels more comfortable for you. I'm pretty sure that the knife hold is probably the more popular way of holding the hook. When you begin a crochet project, you need to create what is called a foundation chain, and this is going to determine the number of stitches that are in your project. You'll be working with the yarn to create a slip knot to begin. This is what is called the tail of your yarn, the end that is cut off. The end that's connected to the ball of yarn is called the working yarn. You're going to take this tail, leaving about an 8-inch length that you will weave into the project at the end. And you're going to wrap it around your hands like this, a few fingers, and then reach through that loop, grab the tail, and pull it through. This is called a slip knot. And the reason that it's called that is because you can gently tug on the tail and it will decrease the size of the loop, or you can gently tug on the loop itself to expand it. This is the first step in creating your foundation chain. So you want to drape this little loop over your hook. You want the loop to be slightly larger than the diameter of the hook so that the hook can slide in and out of the loop easily. Now you're going to be holding the hook with your right hand and determining the tension of your work with the yarn coming from your left hand. Some people like to weave the yarn all through their fingers like this. It gives them a better hold on the yarn, but I simply drape the working yarn over my pointer finger like this and sort of grasp the working yarn with my bottom fingers. But it'll feel quite clumsy no matter what you do when you're first starting, and you'll just have to play around with it. Eventually it'll get more comfortable and you'll see what works best for you. So to begin creating your foundation chain, a lot of crochet is turning this hook and manipulating how you're grabbing the yarn in order to easily pull it through the loop that you already have on the hook. So a foundation chain is simply a length of little interlocking loops, a chain. You're going to do what is called a yarn over, and that is just moving this working yarn over the hook like so. And then you're going to hook that yarn with your hook and draw this new loop through the slip knot that was already on your hook. That is one chain. You never want to count the chain that's on your hook in your number of chains. So right now we have this one loop right here. This is our first chain. Then we're going to yarn over again and draw through another loop. Now we have 2 chains in our foundation chain. And it's as simple as that. You're going to just continue grabbing this yarn and pulling it through, trying to keep an even tension. You want each of these loops to be about the same size as your slip knot, slightly larger than your hook so that you can move in and out of it easily. And you're just going to continue this process, yarning over and pulling through, yarning over and pulling through until you have the number of chains that your pattern calls for. Now, something that is interesting about crochet is that your foundation chain will not only be the number of stitches that are in your pattern, there will also be additional chains at the end of the foundation chain depending on the stitch that you'll be using in the next row. In crochet, when you begin working the first row after this chain, you'll be going up like this and then back down the chain. The different heights of different stitches require different what's called turning chains in order to bring your work up to the level of the next row. So for single crochet, that's going to be 1 additional chain. For half double crochet, you'll have 2 additional chains. For double crochet, you'll have 3, and for treble crochet, you'll have 4. As you can see, treble crochet is the tallest stitch. So now we've reached a height that is equal to all of the trebles that will go into this next row. And that is how you create your foundation chain.